The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, is a senior advocate. He vowed to take legal action against Sahara reporters on account of defamatory publications made against him. Malami said the consequence of the criminal defamation published by Sahara reporters has subjected him to considerable distress, psychological trauma, anxiety, and greatly injured his character and reputation, which is capable of lowering his estimation in the eyes of right-thinking persons in the society. Does that sound strange to you or not? We are talking about groups of people who have decided with previous politicians and appointees to wreck the nation to what it is at the moment. Are we talking about the distress that they have subjected Nigerians into? Are we talking about people being forced to remain as Nigerians? Are we talking about the psychological trauma? What about death? What about Biafra war? What about people that are being pushed and forced into a situation where their anxiety is so much that they do not know what next comes tomorrow? He's talking about his character and his reputation. Anyway, he said series of prejudicial articles, materials were published by Sahara reporters, which were adverse against him, disparaged his reputation via its online internet platform, and broadcasted on the internet via the Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and other similar social media platforms, where same could be viewed and accessed by the whole world and further shared or decimated virally without restraint. He noted particularly that on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of July 2020, Sahara reporters, in what appears like a coordinated attack, viciously wrote and maliciously published libelous and criminally defamatory articles against his personality. The minister said it is pertinent to note that the publications were untrue, fabrication, or at best a figment of imagination of Sahara reporters, and are unsupported howsoever. He said since the 10th of July 2020, when the defamatory articles were first published, he has been receiving several telephone calls and visits from well-meaning Nigerians, his friends, well-wishers, and associates from all over the world, including those he has dealt with and still dealing with in his official capacity as Nigerian Chief Law Officer, many of whom have expressed serious concerns over the publication. Well, I think they felt that they could keep the secret. When Magu was tried, he was forcefully ejected out of EFCC. He was taken in for interrogation. They thought that he wasn't going to speak. Definitely he was going to say what he has to say also, as he understands that they are all birds of the same feather. They are all common criminals. It doesn't matter if they give themselves the title of Senior Advocate of Nigeria. It doesn't matter if they've been elevated to the position of Chief Justice or elevated to the position of Attorney General or whatever appointment it is. They are all birds of the same feather. It's just that once in a while they try each other out depending on the capacity of persecution that they believe that they can met on one person or the other. That's all that they do. Once in a while they try people publicly. Sometimes they try to persecute each other. Sometimes they try to want to interrogate the other person so as to enable the other agency or party or group of their common criminals to expose the rest of the loot that they are hiding so that they can get a share. So it's so simple that they get the loot from the front door and they steal it from the back door. Magu got arrested. What happened? He stole a lot of money and he's still stealing money here and there. Of course, the rest of the cash that he has stolen will be hidden here and there. Properties were being bought through using proxies and various other nefarious activities he got himself involved in. And the same Malami himself is being accused of auctioning Nigerian crude oil that he got on the IC. About 5 vessels were auctioned, and these vessels were auctioned by a company that has been charged for crime. He said on the premise of the foregoing, given that the publication of malicious libel and criminal defamation published against him by Sahara reporters was with a view to disparage him in the eyes of right-thinking persons, contrary to Nigerian criminal and penal laws, and a gross violation of his right to dignity of human as a person as guaranteed under the 99 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. This is so funny when I hear these people talk. So all of a sudden he sees himself as a human being. But the rest of the people in Nigeria, they are not human beings. It's so funny. So he now thinks that he needs to be looked at as a human being, but the rest of Nigerians cannot be looked at as human beings. They are not living the life that they expect to live, because someone like this has so much money stolen from this administration that he could even hire a private jet to go for his son's wedding. You need to see the children of this Malami. What job? What are they doing? How did they come to this world? Look at the expensive automobiles that they cruise around with. Malami gave the medium Sahara reporters 7 days ultimatum to retract all the libelous and criminally defamatory publications against him, and also issue a public apology. And this has to be published on the same platform and on the front pages of 3 national newspapers for 3 consecutive days. A senior lawyer has already been briefed to deal with the matter as many as may be appropriate. They said, in the event of failure to retract the publication in question and offer the requested apology within the stipulated time, they are going to act. They're going to take Sahara reporters to the court. And you know what it is? They might try to set him up again to make sure that he ends up in jail. But then, right now, I don't think Buhari's administration want to take that risk right now. Not that they care anyway. They do not care about anyone. Well, a lot of people reacted to this. Some say you and co in APC were happy when Sahara reporters wrote all rubbish and lies against Jonathan and his wife. Oga, go and bury your head in shame. The truth of the matter is that what Sahara reporters wrote about Jonathan and wife, 90% of it is correct. Jonathan, wife, and the administration of Jonathan, previous administration before Jonathan, and previous administration, they are all criminals. They have not added value to anyone's life in Nigeria till today. Even this administration, they are all a bunch of crazy criminals. They have not added value to anyone's life till today. Yes, they have not. So another person say, I'm not really surprised by the antics of Sahara reporters. They are the headquarters of fake and sensational news. Also, individuals like Reno Mokri, Dino Melai, FFK TV, Frank Chief, Peter Ayodele Fauci are personalities that you believe at your own chagrin. They are all common criminals. That's what this person said. Someone said, do you buy the house with your money? What amount do you earn to purchase such house for your son? And that's it. Where did this man get money from to purchase such expensive, very large house for his own children? These are thieves. All of them are criminals. Fraudulent Attorney General of Nigeria. That's what it is. Fraudulent. They are all criminals. They are all thieves. All the money that they got from the money they got from Abacha and all of that. Imagine what he wrote, what he tweeted. That shows that these guys are just common criminals. They are all common criminals. But they will tell you, prove that I'm a criminal. It's not difficult to prove that you're a criminal. What other jobs, what other businesses do you do? How did you amount so much wealth? How could you have afforded this and that? How much is your salary? All of this is have to be put in question. Or is he going to tell us that he has been saving since he was born? The money that is supposed to go to single mothers, money that is supposed to go to children before they get to 18 years old, money that is supposed to be paid to you when you're not working. All of those money, they are sharing it into their own pocket. And he has the guts to come out to tell someone to write some things in 3 newspapers for 3 days. What crazy kind of people are this? Crazy people. All the money, they stole it and they are still stealing it. And some people out there that are blind, typical Nigerians, thinking that their own turn is coming, that they will get into that seat and also do the same. The one Nigeria should remain the way it is. Someone say you are traumatized by what you heard. That's how Mago feels too when your purported letter to the president led to his arrest. Person wey don't kill before, no go one make them carry knife pass in backyard. Not to talk of his face. They are all criminals. Magu, Malami, whatever name they call themselves, they are all a bunch of criminals. You need to see the amount of wristwatch these guys put on. The amount of wristwatch these guys put on is up to the amount that people buy properties abroad. They put on watches of $150,000 cash. This is not mortgage. That's the same amount that people spend many years of their life to pay for mortgage for houses abroad. 150,000, someone wearing it on his wristwatch, and that's just one wristwatch. They might have up to 5-10 types of wristwatches. That means one wristwatch or the rest of the wristwatches they have is close to $1 million on someone's wrist. These are criminals. These are criminals. They don't hide it. You cannot hide a wristwatch. So I now began thinking, if someone can put on a wristwatch that is as expensive as that, then talk about properties. Then they want to own properties that cost 500 million naira. Bunch of criminals. That's what all of them, that's what they are.